Hey guys, this is EJ Holland with the Wolverine.com, and Michigan has scored another big win on the recruiting trail. Before we talk about that, I want to invite you guys to subscribe to the Wolverine.com today for just $99 for 1 year. That gets you premium insider recruiting information, team information, basketball recruiting, NIL transfer portal, and so much more, all for just $99 for 1 year over at the Wolverine.com. Plus, you get to be part of a great message board community with more than 8,000 unique individual users over on the fort. Come join the discussion today. Get your insider information with the season right around the corner for just $99 for 1 year. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel for free and click that thumbs up button. All right, guys, we're going to talk about Michigan's latest win. The Wolverines have scored another victory on the recruiting trail, this time a commitment from four-star in-state linebacker Jeremiah Beasley, part of the On300, ranked as the number 20 linebacker in the country and number 264 overall prospect nationally per On3. On3 and 24/7 both have him ranked as a top 300 prospect. Rivals has him as a low 4-star, while ESPN is the outlier with a 3-star rating. I really like On3's ranking of Jeremiah Beasley. I think he's a top 250, 275 type of guy. I could see him ranked as high as 225, but I think he's just a really safe player and a great scheme fit for Michigan. He's a little bit on the shorter side at right about 6'1", 210 pounds, but he just fits this scheme so well. He's built for what Jesse Minter wants at the linebacker spot. He can get sideline to sideline. He fills gaps in a hurry. He has really good speed. In fact, he played a lot of running back early on in his high school career. He loves to be physical. He's very, very comfortable in pass coverage. So Beasley checks a lot of boxes for what Michigan does with its linebackers in this scheme. Remember, Jesse Minter came over from the Baltimore Ravens. He still has kind of that NFL blueprint for what he does on the defensive side of the ball. And again, Beasley just checks a lot of those boxes. Now, I've seen Beasley in-game. I've seen him on the 7-on-7 circuit a handful of times. I've seen him camp as well. And Beasley is consistently a top performer in whatever he does. It doesn't matter the setting. Just because he is an athletic guy, he does have really good speed for being a backer. There was one 7-on-7 where I saw him last year where he even lined up at corner and looked really good taking reps there. Not that he could be a corner at the next level, but it is impressive for a guy that's a true natural backer to be out there playing 7-on-7, to be playing cornerback in a 7-on-7 setting and excelling. A lot of times when you look at the club 7-on-7 circuit, the position that struggles the most is the linebacker spot. Usually there's only one linebacker on the field in 7-on-7, and they can be picked apart, especially if they can't turn or if they can't run. Beasley can turn, he can run, he has fluid hips. But again, when he puts the pads on, it's not like he's just a camp warrior or a 7-on-7 warrior. When he puts pads on, he's really physical. He's quick to the ball. I remember when Michigan had Aaron Alexander committed before, he eventually wasn't part of the class a couple of cycles ago. Beasley was an underclassman, and I went out to see a Belleville game. I believe it was Beasley's sophomore year, and he was fantastic. He was better than Aaron Alexander was by a good margin. You could see Beasley's talent when he was just a sophomore, and now that he's going into his senior year, I think he's clearly a top 5 overall recruit in the state of Michigan this cycle. I would have him ranked probably as high as number 3 in the state this year. So I'm a really big fan of what Beasley brings to the table from an athletic standpoint, but it's also the mental standpoint as well. Beasley's a really smart football player. He's very quiet from a personality standpoint. He's not a guy that's going to be, a raw recruiter like a Jacob Oden, who's actually his good friend. He's more of a personal guy. Let's get to football and let me take care of my business off the field as well. So he's a 4.0 student, very, high academic kid that values what Michigan has to offer away from the field as well. So when he looked at his final options with Michigan State and Mizzou also being finalists, there really wasn't a comparison. Michigan's one of the best academic institutions in the entire country. It's close to home. So that part played a big role as well. But where I think his mind can come into play on the field is just being that backer that helps recognize what offenses are doing, being that extra coach on the field. I think both Beasley and Jacob Oden, who is a coach's son, are both really smart kids that are capable of doing that from their respective positions. So I think Oden's going to be a great leader in the secondary. I think Beasley's going to be a great leader in the linebacker room as well. Both of those guys are really, really great role models off the field, but also that IQ transitions to on the field as well. They're very much students of the game. So the culture aspect was great. So let's talk about just this recruitment overall. We've gone on and on about Beasley as a player, but this recruitment was interesting because early on, I don't think a lot of people thought Michigan had as good of a shot as it did with Jeremiah Beasley. First and foremost, you had the Belleville factor, right? So Michigan has landed guys from Belleville in the past, but it was always a bumpy road. You had Jermaine Crowell as the head coach there. He had a rocky relationship with Jim Harbaugh, pretty much a non-existent one. Even on his channels right now, social media channels, Jermaine Crowell has not been the most pro-Michigan guy involved on social media. But the thing is, he's not at Belleville anymore. He actually was forced to resign, I believe, after committing some recruiting violations. So Jermaine Crowell no longer a factor at Belleville. But I do think landing Jeremiah Beasley helps kind of rebuild those bridges at such an important school. Belleville is also home to five-star quarterback Bryce Underwood, who obviously is the big fish for next cycle. So I think getting a guy from Belleville is a big win because it continues to. Not only is Beasley a great player that I've been really high on for years, it helps, again, mend those fences. It helps continue to build relationships with high school coaches throughout Metro Detroit. It helps with the sound mind, sound body connection. Jeremiah Beasley is a part of that. Obviously, so is Jacob Oden. So is Will Johnson. So continuing to get the best of the best in state, I think that a big part of that is building those relationships, rebuilding those relationships that were somewhat lost for a couple of years while Michigan transitioned staffs. I feel like guys like Steve Clinkscale, Ron Bellamy, Mike Hart have all done a terrific job of, again, mending those fences, rebuilding those relationships around the state of Michigan and specifically in Metro Detroit, and winning over Jeremiah Beasley, winning over Jacob Oden. Those are guys from a peer recruiting standpoint, Will Johnson as well, that can help lure some of the area's best to stay home and play for Michigan. And obviously winning on the field is a big help as well. But Michigan State, I think, thought they had a lot of momentum in this recruitment. His half-brother, Malik Carr, plays for the Spartans. But as we've seen many times, Michigan State is pretty much irrelevant when it comes to head-to-head battles with Michigan. They haven't won very many, if any. So any guy that Michigan is competing for, they usually win, and they did here with Jeremiah Beasley. Michigan obviously just being the superior program both on and off the field. The scheme fit was just so much better than Michigan State. So, yeah, I mean, it would have been, I'm sure, nice for the Beasley family if Jeremiah had followed Malik there, but at the end of the day, he's just such a great fit for Michigan, and he knew that. So he spurned the Spartans, picked Michigan, and a big win, especially after losing Aaron Childs to Florida in one of the biggest surprises of the cycle. Jeremiah was a must-land. Michigan accomplished that. So for more Jeremiah Beasley coverage, head over to thewolverine.com today. Sign up for $99 for 1 year and get you premium insider information on all things recruiting and team with the season coming up around the corner. Make sure to like this video and also subscribe to our YouTube channel.